All right, here we have a great question from one of our community members, a good friend, Mr. Josh. He's asking, how do you prepare for a new trading year as we come into the end of 2021 right now? He's asking goals, starting balances, etc. Anything would help. Thanks as always. Okay, so within the context of a question like this, we have to understand that your trading goals should, at least in my opinion, not be dependent upon the time of year. What they should be dependent upon is where you are at within your trading sort of trajectory. So I really like to get away from this sort of event-driven, event-driven analysis of how you should be changing your life. It's the same thing as like having, the way that I'm kind of interpreting this question is like the same thing as having a New Year's resolution. Why are New Year's resolutions bullshit? The reason why New Year's resolutions are bullshit is because if you actually want to do something, if you actually want to, make a change in your life and you're very serious about it, you don't wait until the beginning of the year, to make that change. You should make it right now, because right now is the best time to be making it for, your long-term trajectory, as it's going to give you the best leverage on your actual time, of which you have a limited time on. So for example, everyone wants to have, not everyone, but a very common New Year's resolution is to go to the gym, right? Well, if you're going to have a New Year's resolution that you're thinking about in November or December to go to the gym starting January 1st, 2022, it's like, why not start now? You're going to get further along your progress trajectory now if you start today than you would if you wait, in a couple months. And what's the good old saying with that? You will always wait, like 1 month ahead of now, you're going to wish that you started today, because you're just going to have more progress with it. And that's what's going to actually make you more adept. Anyways, with regards to your question, goals, starting balances, anything would help. So what I like to do is I actually rebalance my goals just about every quarter. So I want to be having goals for, not necessarily, the problem with having goals is that they need to be relatable and within your volitional control. So my goals always come down to not necessarily results, although those should naturally follow, but what's in my control. What's in my control when it comes to trading is, am I able to take up the setups that I define as relevant to me? So if you actually listen to my last podcast with Chris Laurie, who is amazing, I don't really care about analyzing the whole market for YouTube and whatnot. Yes, it's fun to do. It's a good, it's a good practice. But as far as trading goes, I'm just looking at a very, 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 very small subset of the market essentially. And anything could be going on like a weekly, monthly, or a 5-minute. It doesn't matter if I'm trading the hourly or 4-hour. Those are mostly noise to me, and anything outside of my strategy is noise. So as far as goals go, I just want to be making sure that I am following my strategy. And for an actionable thing that you can take that will help you with that is, and this is where you really should be spending your discipline. Like if you're a disciplined person, your discipline is not going to help you by just staring at charts all day with no goal in mind. Your discipline is not going to help you with taking trades all day, like I see some people do. Without any real direction. Your discipline is going to be best applied towards back testing and then forwards testing on a small dollar account, typically speaking. Whatever strategy that you're mulling over, and then making very, 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 very small and minute changes towards that as you get the information and statistics that are relevant to you as defined by you, because this is again about you being the authority of your own trading life, and you want to be looking at others, perhaps like me or the people around you as colleagues, but not like the master. Like that's not the way that it should be. So again, going back to your question, I think that that's just the wrong mentality to be coming from. And also because I know you and I know that you're very successful with this, you don't need to be changing things around all that much. What you should be doing if you really want to, have goals and stuff like that, is you should be using your free time or using any of your time, if you, depending upon how serious you are about this, with optimizing your current strategies. Because again, I know that you are rather successful. So really only making small little 1% changes here and there is where you want to be. You don't want to fuck with the formula. You want to just fuck with the very, very small things, because guess what? A 1% higher hit rate over time amounts for a humongous amount of gains over the course of a lifetime. Starting balances, again, just irrelevant, unless if you just want to play like a game with yourself, like, can I build it up from this amount or not? That's, fair enough. Maybe that's motivating to you. I don't know, but motivation is not really what we want to begin with anyways. We want discipline, because motivation will come and go depending upon your mood, depending upon how much sleep you had, depending upon whether you're on your period or not. Shit like that is going to really mess with your motivation, and you can't be reliant on your motivation, because you need to be very consistent in order to be successful. And how are you going to be consistent? Discipline, not motivation. Motivation is great. When you have it, lean into it, absolutely. But always remember, it's like going to the gym. If you only go to the gym when you're feeling motivated, you're never going to get anywhere, or you're probably not going to get anywhere, because you can't be motivated all the time. It's not natural. It's like telling someone to be happy all the time. You can't. It's like there's just going to be times where you're going to be sad. It's just the way that's going to be. As far as, so goal starting balances. So what I like to write out for myself is I like to focus down on exactly what my goals are, again, to kind of like summarize this whole damn conversation. What I like to use my time doing is I like to make goals that are in my volitional control. So this would be, I want to increase the hit rate of my current strategies by X amount, and I'll do that through back testing and forwards testing, and that is something that is goal worthy because it's within my control. I can't make goals like I need to make $1 million this year, because that will naturally come from the base of what I'm just speaking about, but you don't really have control over that. And there are, of course, non-zero probabilities of black swans and just weird shit that happens that might fuck with that, and you can't be reliant or dependent upon a goal like that if it's going to like drastically fuck with you if something like that happens, because it naturally will happen over time. I mean, obviously we just dealt with March 2020, and that would be very difficult to deal with if you have like a goal in mind, like you must make this amount of money, and then something like that happens, and well, that's a reality situation. You can't fight reality. So those goals are fine to have, but they need to be within your control and grounded in reality. Those are my main conditions for that. Those sort of goals are completely fine. Those sort of goals you can be disciplined towards, but you don't want to be at the whims of non-zero probabilistic events that can and will happen over time that can drastically fuck with you, but not really make any reasonable difference. So hopefully that was helpful, and there we go on that. A little bit long-winded there, but I think I got the main points across that I was trying to say.